Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Saira Mujtaba and with me is Renuka, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. France emphasizes partnership with India as a major pillar of its Indo-Pacific strategy. Over 91 dead in massive oil tanker explosion in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. In Afghanistan, 4 women, including a women's rights activist, killed in the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. Over 108 crore 18 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in India so far. International Film Festival of India announces selection of films for Indian Panorama section to be screened during its 52nd edition in Goa. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, England take on South Africa in Sharjah. Australia beat West Indies by 8 wickets in Abu Dhabi. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075.
And now the news in detail. France has emphasized partnership with India as a major pillar of its Indo-Pacific strategy. It has stressed upon its continuing commitment to the Indo-Pacific region as a resident power. This was highlighted during National Security Advisor Ajit Doval's visit to Paris on Friday for the annual India-France Strategic Dialogue. During his visit, the 2 countries have agreed to strengthen bilateral defense and security partnership. This will be done through enhanced intelligence and information sharing, operational cooperation, bolstering mutual capabilities, and expanding bilateral exercises. New initiatives in maritime, space, and cyber domains will also be pursued. France has reiterated its commitment to fully support Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and defense industrialization, joint research and technology development in India. India and France also agreed that emerging trends in global affairs reinforce the need for closer partnership between the 2 countries, including the United Nations Security Council and other UN forums. Building on the successful India-France initiative on International Solar Alliance, the 2 sides also stressed the need to accelerate cooperation in clean energy, including civil nuclear energy and green hydrogen.
At least 91 people died and dozens more were left injured after a massive explosion in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. The blast happened after a 40 feet long oil tanker collided with another vehicle at a busy junction in the city. Freetown Mayor Yon Aki Sawyer described the incident harrowing, but said the scale of the damage was not yet clear. In a post on Facebook, she said there were rumors that more than 100 people have lost their lives, although there is as yet no official death toll. The state-run morgue has received 91 bodies so far, its manager told news agencies. The explosion is believed to have happened at a junction outside the busy Shoystrom supermarket in Wellington region of the city at around 2200 hours GMT yesterday. The port city, which is home to just over 1 million people, has faced several serious disasters in the recent years. Delhi Regional Security Dialogue on Afghanistan will be hosted by India on the 10th of November. The NSA-level meeting will be chaired by NSA Ajit Doval. According to sources, there has been an overwhelming response to India's invitation. Central Asian countries as well as Russia and Iran have confirmed their participation. This is the first time all Central Asian countries, not just Afghanistan's immediate land neighbors, are participating in this format. The enthusiastic response is recognition of the importance attached to India's role to promote peace and security in Afghanistan. 2 earlier meetings in this format have been held in Iran in September 2018 and December 2019. The 3rd meeting in India could not be held earlier due to the pandemic. Sources said invitations have been extended to China and Pakistan as well, and formal responses are awaited. However, Pakistan has indicated through the media that it will not be attending the summit. Pakistan's decision is unfortunate but not surprising, and it reflects its mindset of viewing Afghanistan as its protectorate, said sources. Pakistan has not attended the previous meetings of this format too. The high-level participation in next week's meeting hosted by India reflects the widespread and growing concern of regional countries about the situation in Afghanistan and their desire to consult and coordinate with each other. India has an important role to play in this process.
In Afghanistan, 4 women have been killed in the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif, a spokesman for the Taliban government said on Saturday, as local sources identified at least one of the victims as a rights activist. 2 suspects have been arrested after the 4 bodies were found at a house in the city, said Interior Ministry spokesman Qari Sayyid Khosti. The arrested people have admitted in initial interrogation that the women were invited to the house by them. He said further investigations are underway and the case has been referred to court. Khosti did not identify the victims, but sources in Mazar-e-Sharif told media that one of the dead was a women's rights activist and university lecturer, Frouzan Saifi. President of Senegal, Macky Sall, has expressed Senegal's desire to continue to engage with India to achieve full potential of the bilateral relations. He said this during the recent visit of Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan to Senegal. During the visit, Mr. Muralidharan and Foreign Minister of Senegal, Aissata Tall Sall, co-chaired the 3rd India-Senegal Joint Commission meeting. Both sides discussed areas of mutual interest including trade and commerce, investments, health, energy, agriculture, railways, defense, security, education, culture, development partnership, consular, and Indian community-related matters. India and Senegal have agreed to enhance cooperation in these areas. An MOU for cooperation in the field of health and medicine and MOU for training of Senegalese diplomats were also signed. Mr. Muralidharan, along with Foreign Minister of Senegal, also launched a commemorative stamp marking the celebrations of 60 years of diplomatic relations between India and Senegal. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that this visit has helped to consolidate 60 years of diplomatic relations between the 2 countries on entire gamut of bilateral, regional and international issues and set out a roadmap for future engagements.
In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a special program, AIR News exclusive interview with Mr. Shyam Kumar Thakur, author of the book entitled An Illustrated Autobiography of Shyam Kumar Thakur, who performed the holy pilgrimage of Kailash Mansarovar 5 times.
Today, in the studio, we have with us the author of a book entitled An Illustrated Autobiography of Shyam Kumar Thakur, who has 5 times successfully performed the Holy Kailash Mansarovar Yatra organized by the Government of India. Now let us know his personal experiences and feelings from his own mouth only. Yes, Mr. Shyam Kumar Thakur, what's the purpose of writing this book? Is it the public interest?
Certainly it is. In the interest of the public, in this book, I have tried my level best to include all the important holy places around the route and also around the Holy Kailash Mansarovar, not through the virtual but the real photographs and its captions which have been taken aesthetically from the countless angles and views in order to present and promote the religious discourse of the Hindu religion, which is nothing but one of the ways of the realization of God. Besides clearly show the destination, the abode of Almighty Lordship, the Holy Kailash Mount and the Holy Mansarovar Lake, that might inspire the future yatris and attract the adventure-loving young people, and also it will be a source of knowledge of the route of this holy yatra. This book, but natural, is of its own kind and entirely different from any other book because of its extraordinary features.
Is there any special quality of this book?
Of course there is. The special quality of this book is that it's highly pictorial with the colored photographs of all the important holy places which are connected with the Holy Kailash Mansarovar, and by incorporating more photographs and less text matters in this book makes it an unique effort in this direction. As it has been rightly said, a photograph is better than 1,000 words. It has been also said, photo speaks itself, it doesn't require discretion. The moment the devotees will go through this book, they would certainly be inspired for performing the yatra of the holy Kailash Mansarovar and subsequently tempted for the realization of God, even if there is no text matters in it. That's the special quality of this book. Here it will not be an exaggerated statement if I say that this book is of an international importance and will be certainly helpful to the Hindus all over the world who have been aspiring to visit this holy place, but they had not been able to do so far.
Considering the importance of this book, based on the 5 holy pilgrimages of Kailash Mansarovar organized by the Government of India, His Majesty, the Vice President of India, Shri N. Venkaiah Naidu, gave Hardik Shubhkamnaएं to the author Shri Shyam Kumar Thakur when it was presented to him. Well, what's your experience as a yatri of the holy Kailash Mansarovar, particularly 5 times?
I have, as far as my experience of 5 times as a yatri of the holy Kailash Mansarovar is concerned, it has been an unique spiritual fulfillment of my inner soul. I have been longing since my childhood to go on this holy trip, ever since when, as a 9-year-old child, I had visited the Pashupatinath Mandir in Nepal along with my grandmother, late Kanti Kuwar. When first time I went on the trip of the holy Kailash Mansarovar at the height of 18,600 feet, I had never thought I would be able to perform this holy pilgrimage 5 times. But the spiritual satisfaction I got in my first pilgrimage to the holy Kailash Mansarovar forced me to visit 4 times more. And further also, I had made up my mind to visit this holy place every year till I am alive. Undoubtedly, this holy place has an ultra-magnetic attraction and vast amount of positive energy and spiritual vibrations that I felt not only once but also several times during the yatras of the holy Kailash Mansarovar. I hope all the yatris who have visited the holy Kailash Mansarovar would agree with me that it's certainly such an extraordinary spiritual satisfaction that inspires to experience the peace and serenity again and again.
Well, Mr. Thakur, had you ever got any opportunity to visit the holy Gaurikund during the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra?
Other than the holy Mansarovar lake, I also got several opportunities, unlike others, to take bath in the holy Gaurikund near the Dolmala Pass, where Goddess Parvati, who is also known as Goddess Gauri, is believed to have taken bath and offered her worship for getting married to Lord Shiv.
What are the aims and objectives of the holy Kailash Mansarovar Yatra conducted by the Union Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India?
This holy yatra being organized by the Government of India is in order to get a feel of cultural aspect as a goodwill gesture for promoting the better understanding with the Chinese people and ultimately their government for strengthening the bilateral relations in the interest of the nation.
In what ways religion can help to the humanity and society? In what ways religion can help to the humanity and society?
Religion is the easiest, simplest and best way to resolve the crisis of character that is prevailing all over the world on the pretext of so-called development and modernity. It can also help to stop the deteriorating devaluation of values and restore the ethics and integrity. In the present scenario, religion is the only thing that can give right direction and bring anybody on the right path. In addition to this, as the religion is full of medical sciences also, it can save the humanity from any type of outbreaks, even the ongoing epidemic, the COVID-19, which is spreading like anything across the world.
Are you likely to gain something spiritually also other than materialistically?
I not only hope but also fully believe so. Here I am very fortunate that this holy book will all the time, directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, till the last breath, keep me intact with the abode of Almighty Lordship, the holy Kailash Mount and the holy Mansarovar Lake, besides the holy Gaurikund, because of its from time to time forthcoming additions and simultaneously my personal involvement with full devotion in it, that might remind me on every moment till I am blessed with the realization of God.
Would you like to mention anything more about your book as an author?
As an author, here I wish to mention that this book entitled An Illustrated Autobiography of Shyam Kumar Thakur of 419 pages all colored is nothing but a pictorial journey to the holy Kailash Mansarovar. In fact, it's an exhibition of the photographs in the form of a book that exclusively covers my personal experience about the yatras of the holy Kailash Mansarovar for 5 times in the consecutive 5 years from 2006 to 2010 via the Lipu Lake Pass, the Indo-Tibet International Border organized by the East Asia Division of the Union Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, South Block, New Delhi.
Mr. Thakur, could you now throw some light about your academic background?
I had been a student of English literature up to the post-graduation level, and that too in 1976 from a renowned LS College, Muzaffarpur of Bihar.
Throughout your life, what was your priorities, and in the near future, what they will be? I mean, what is the most important thing that you consider to be done in your life, and to what extent you achieved or did it?
God is the witness. Rather, I fully remember that ever since I attained maturity, I have not committed any crime as yet. And in the future also, I am fully confident that nobody can get illegal work done by me under any circumstances. However, if anybody among my colleagues, relatives or even outsiders could point out any crime directly or indirectly committed by me at any level, I won't mind, rather glad to be punished. Moreover, I am a very simple and open-hearted person, and so but natural since my childhood. Constantly I have been spontaneously maintaining transparency all the time, besides morality, integrity, dignity and self-respect, other than humanity, accessibility and accountability throughout my life. That's fortunately inbuilt in my character, which I have inherited from the ancestors by birth only.
For quite a long time, you had been in Prasar Bharati, Doordarshan, a Government of India undertaking. Could you also throw some light as your professional experience there, and what was the first impression when you joined over there?
The Prasar Bharati is the most impressive and effective media in the entire world, so far as the authenticity of its news and programs are concerned.
Can you kindly tell us in very brief about your professional experience?
I have more than 38 years of professional experience in the print and the electronic media, including of Doordarshan, the most impressive and effective media unit of the Union Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India, as a permanent program executive, and produced 340 episodes of the most popular and main agricultural in-house program entitled Khet Khalyan of the Kisan channel of Doordarshan, the additional DD channel for the farmers only, launched by His Excellency our beloved Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi on 26 May 2015, apart from a special program entitled Eco-Friendly Wastewater Treatment and its reuse for overcoming the crisis of water, particularly during the periods of drought when even the drinking water is not adequately available so easily, and the other important national and international programs such as the events of London 2012 Olympic Games, a live from London that is over to London, United Kingdom for the Indian sports lovers, and a documentary entitled Living Positively with HIV/AIDS in view of the international target in collaboration with UNESCO AVU at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as a media person other than an author as well as a sports person.
Great. Very rightly you have said. The most important, I think, you said in your interview is that religion is so helpful for the entire humanity and society, because all the religions, whether it is Sikhism, whether it is Islam, it is Hinduism or Christianity or any other, Buddhism or any other religion, every religion preaches humanity, peace, serenity and not violence, not hatred. And if everybody, all the people in the world follow the preachings and principles of religion, then there will be no problem, no war, no hatred, no tussle, no cutthroat competition. So it's a great message you have given to our listeners and society as a whole, that we should all follow our religion religiously, and if we follow our religion, then the whole entire world will be very peaceful, and people and places like Holy Kailash Mansarovar and other holy places of different religions, they provide a good opportunity to meet, for people to meet there and to give highlight those principles and those principles which our religion gives and tell us to observe and to follow. So thank you very much, Mr. Thakur. It has been a very enlightening interview, and you have your book. We hope in future your book will be a opener and will give a great guidance to our future yatris and adventure-loving young people who want to go for mountaineering and other purposes, plus this holy pilgrimage also. So all the best, Mr. Thakur. We hope that you will do such kind of yatras in future also, and it will benefit our listeners and our people and public as a whole. Thank you very much once again.
I am also very thankful to you for giving me this opportunity for sharing my spiritual and professional experiences with our countrymen.
That was an interview with Mr. Shyam Kumar Thakur. And now in some more news, with the UN Climate Summit or the Conference of Parties COP26 in Glasgow underway, All India Radio brings you a Ready Reckoner every day. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we bring you daily the terms, jargon and concepts in use during the conference. Today, we shall talk about adaptation. Adaptation is the process of adjustment to climate change and its effects. The purpose is to reduce the harms and utilize the potential opportunities. Adaptation seeks to lower the risk posed by the consequences of climate change. AIR News spoke to the Chairman, Energy Council, Inter-American Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Sunil Jain, on the role of adaptation for climate change.
India has pledged to reach net zero by 2070 at COP26. How would you look at it?
I think the Prime Minister has made an ambitious call of 2070. Actually, he is walking the talk. India is yet to peak in its carbon emission. Our per capita energy consumption is one of the lowest amongst major economies. As our people prosper and increased industrial and commercial activity, so will our energy demand increase and so will our carbon emission. India is likely to peak around 2032-2035 in our emissions. Prime Minister has to choose between lives and livelihoods, and it is a tightrope walk. As the Western countries who enjoyed the benefits of industrialization and ignored emissions for so many years cannot ask developing nations to clean their past by denying our people the right to better life. India is already doing its bit, the COP21 commitment, and actually one of the few who have delivered. So to keep the interest of our still to be fully developed country, I think 2070 may be even an ambitious target, but achievable. Basically, we are a country committing what is equitable to this 1.4 billion people and what is deliverable.
What is your take on One World, One Sun, One Grid initiative?
Coming to One Sun, One World, One Grid, I think this concept of grid is a stroke of masterpiece. We all know that sun is shining somewhere in the world at any time of the day or night. PM Modi, as a visionary, thought of using this to distribute solar power across globe throughout the day, 24/7. This is possible by interconnecting grid with your neighbors and then extending to the other continent, either through land route or through undersea cables. This can benefit countries with low solar resource who can buy from resource-rich countries at different point of time. It may take time, but by 2040, I see this gaining ground in a big way. Also, upcoming storage technologies will help the cause further. Basically, this helps the world to decarbonize faster.
What could be the role of adaptations for climate change?
Adaptation is a key to the climate change. Climate change is real and we all are witnessing it in our daily lives, as also countries are witnessing extreme weather conditions and more frequent disaster events. While we mitigate climate change, we must adapt to the facts and modify our behavior in consumption, in travel, in eating, in housing, etc. Adaptation is the new norm to fight climate change. Countries will face extreme drought or floods at the same time in different parts of the country. We must adapt to different crop patterns for such conditions. We must adapt to forest fires, and we may prepare to avoid same, or for floods we need stronger embankments. These are some of the few examples of adaptation to the climate change, which although are not the solutions, but only a temporary stopgap measure. The examples are many, and UN has also said that adaptation is going to be a way forward and we cannot wish it away. One thing is for sure, Adaptations by governments alone will not help, and people will have to be equally responsible and participative in this movement.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 188 crore landmark milestone today. Till now, more than 108 crore 18 lakh vaccine doses have been administered. The Health Ministry said more than 25 lakh 54,000 vaccine doses were administered on Saturday. International Film Festival of India has announced a selection of films for the Indian Panorama section to be screened during its 52nd edition in Goa. Jury's choice for the opening feature film of Indian Panorama 2021 is the film Semkhor Damasa, directed by Amy Barua. Ved the Visionary, directed by Rajiv Prakash, will be the opening Indian non-feature film. A total of 24 feature films have been selected to be screened during IFFI. Selected from a wide pool of 221 contemporary Indian films, they reflect the vibrancy and diversity of the Indian film industry. The feature film jury, comprising 12 members, was headed by acclaimed filmmaker and actor S.V. Rajendra Singh Babu.
In the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, chasing the target of 190 runs set by South Africa, England were 150 for 4 in 16.4 overs against South Africa in Sharjah when reports last came in. Earlier put into bat, Rassie van der Dussen's unbeaten 94 and Aiden Markram's unbeaten 52 helped South Africa to set a victory target of 190 runs. South Africa scored 189 for 2 in stipulated 20 overs. In an earlier match today, Australia defeated West Indies by 8 wickets at Abu Dhabi.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian says the European Union warns of serious consequences if UK invokes Article 16. The Globe and Mail writes, US Congress passes $1 trillion infrastructure bill as Democrats end months-long deadlock. Tolo News reports Afghan exports stopped at Iran's Chabahar port. Sputnik News says China snaps back at Biden criticizing Xi's absence from COP26, questions 1.5 degrees Celsius goal. Himalayan Times writes, at least 15 killed as blasts, gunfire hit Kabul hospital, official says. Wall Street Journal reports UK rate decision surprise ripples across global bond markets. And the Washington Post says rebel advance to within 200 miles of Ethiopia's capital puts the city and wider region on edge.
And some more news. Prime Minister Modi has congratulated Akash Kumar on winning a medal at the World Boxing Championship. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, this success will motivate the younger boxers to excel. The Prime Minister also wished him the very best for his future endeavours. Akash Kumar won the bronze medal in 54 kgs category at the World Boxing Championship. And now a quick look at the headlines once again. France emphasizes partnership with India as a major pillar of its Indo-Pacific strategy. Over 91 dead in massive oil tanker explosion in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. In Afghanistan, 4 women, including a women's rights activist, killed in the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. Over 108 crore 18 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in India so far. International Film Festival of India announced a selection of films for Indian Panorama section to be screened during its 52nd edition in Goa. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, England take on South Africa in Sharjah. Australia beat West Indies by 8 wickets in Abu Dhabi. India is celebrating the 152nd birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let's listen to his favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Fiji. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.